Yes, now we have finished implementing the add task button and the render function, and you can see the task what we have in our array renders here with it two buttons, edit button and delete button. And now we want when someone press this button to delete this task, or when someone press this button to edit this task. But we'll start with the delete button. For that, we have two choices. We can put the event listener, we can attach an event listener to this button and this button. But in JavaScript, normally, you can do that. But most of the time when we have uh, two buttons which has a common parent, what we used to do is we attach an event listener to their common parent. And because of event delegation, when someone will press this button, we'll take this event, we do event.target.class list and dot content. We'll check if the class, if the button contain this delete dash btn, that means is they press delete button and this code inside this if statement will be executed. And if someone press this edit button, I will let me show you. And if someone press this button, the event will contain uh, this edit dash btn. That's how we handle this functionality. But first of all, we will start with the edit, with the delete button. I will explain this code, then later I will explain the code for inside the edit. I will explain the code inside this if statement, which related to the edit button. Yes, now we want when someone click this button to delete this task. For that, as you know, I told you that we attach one event listener to their common parent because we don't want to have one event listener for edit and delete. As they have one common parent, we can just plus one event listener here. And we want when someone press this delete button, we just take the event and do dot target dot dot target give us the the HTML element on which the click happen. Then we take that element, then we do dot class list to get all the class and dot content to see if it contains this delete dash button class. And if it contains this class, then this code will be executed. Then we first of all we get the data set which we passed when we were creating this. We were inserting these to HTML. You can see, I'll just show it to you. You can see here when we were writing the code for rendering, we do for each, yes, you can see for each element in our array, we create this list item and we pass this data, we pass the ID of that task through data set. And you can see here is data dash ID, but in JavaScript, we will not do dot data dash ID, we'll just do dot ID. And I think that you understand the line of code. Where is it? Yes. So here we get the ID of the task and we store it into do ID. Then we use the find index method in our to-dos array to see if this ID, one tasking in this array has this ID. If is there, it will return the ID and the ID will be stored in task.id. If it's not there, it will return -1. Then we take this task ID, we use splice method. And this method is used to modify the original array. Then we pass the index where we want the delete to start, and this number is the number of item we want to delete. Then here, uh, this the ID or the task with this ID, or no, this index will be deleted. That's how this code works. And the splice method, this one you should return it, modify the original array, which is different with slice method. The slice method create an original array based on the create another array based on the array to which it was applied. But here, the splice method modify the original array because we pass the index of the task and how many elements we want to delete. In our case, it's just one element. So it will be deleted and the array will be modified. So you can even see it here. When I press this button, this will be deleted. So see, yes, our task was deleted, or it has been deleted. Yes, that's how this uh, delete work in our to-do list. First of all, we check, we take the event, we check on which button the click happen, then we check the class list, then we check if it contain the delete dash button class. If it contain that class, then we execute this if statement. If, for example, if this class was not there, because we'll do the same for the edit button. If the class was edit dash btn, this code will be executed. Then for edit, what we will do in our next video. Yeah. After deleting the element in the to-do list, we should calculate again the total pages. Why? Because I'll show you. Imagine we have, for example, 2 pages. Now we have 2 pages. We can go in our second. We can go in our next page by clicking here next. So in our second page, I want to say we have one item. If we delete this item, so now we are in our first page, but this is possible because here we do this small calculation. We calculate that if the to-do length divided by the number of items per pages, we get the total number of pages. Here, before it was two pages, but as we delete the item what was in the second page, normally this one should be equal to 1. And after that, we should also check if the current page, because when we are in the second page, the current page will be equal to 2. But when we delete it, the total page will be pages will be 1, and the current page will be 2. So we need to reduce the current page to be equal to the total page, the total pages. That's why here we check if the current page is greater than the total pages, then current page is equal to total pages. But if this one is equal to 0, imagine in our to-dos we don't have any element. This will be equal to 0, and we want to set current page equal to 1. Then after calculating this, then we render again. We do this rendering. That's why you see when I have like 2 pages. When I go in the second page, I delete this item, automatically come back in the first page. If I if we don't do this, if we don't do this small trick, maybe our pagination may broke. It will not work correctly. We need to include this code here to fix the as I wrote here the empty page. Then after that you should render again the uh, the UI to to show that now we have only one page. That's why you don't see uh, the next page button here. If we would, for example, add another item, you will see automatically the button will appear. But if I go in the second page, I delete, we render again, as we have only 2 elements, the next button is not appearing here. Yes, I think you get the point.